when I left coaching, literally I was told, well, what kind of career are you going to have? That's not a career. Real estate is not a career. I remember it like, oh my gosh, like in my whole being. And I was like, well, I'm going to make it a career and I'm going to make it good. The people who have only had W-2 jobs, they were like, oh, that's so unsafe.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different personality types, though.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
that just means that type of career is scary
Right.
for them to even fathom because they wouldn't be able to handle that. Hi, and welcome back. I'm Heidi Rotter.
I'm Caitlin Cuchiella. Nice to see you guys.
Yes, thank you for coming back. Happy New Year. Today we're going to be talking about women in business and where we are today and how we got here. So thank you for that.
Yeah, so something you guys are probably wondering is, who are we? And, happier, healthier, richer today. 11/11.
Oh, I always do that too.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't have an alarm, but 11/11 and 12:34 are my numbers.
Oh my gosh, I love that. All right,
Yeah.
it's on Do Not Disturb now.
Okay, perfect.
This is just our life.
So one of the topics that we actually are going to be talking about is exactly that, a day in the life in real estate.
And like our life, it's never just one thing.
Exactly.
So Heidi, tell the viewers a little bit about who you are and what are the jobs that you had from the beginning to where you are now. Just like rapid fire.
Okay, so rapid fire mode. I originally had a job as a teenager in Price Chopper, which progressed to the floral department. And then I actually had a pretty heavy career in floral for a while and went to school for it when I was in high school.
Wow.
Yep. I did some competitions and whatnot, became an assistant floral manager in Clifton Park, actually, for a while. And then I also worked at Golub, Price Chopper, right in the warehouse with the truck drivers. That was one of my favorite jobs over there, also in the perishable department. After that, let's see, I would go to
How old are you? How old are you?
In floral, 17. Yeah, 16, 17 years old. I started as bagger, went into floral department because I was like, I am not doing this. And I ended up loving it. It took right off. I loved arranging flowers, and I just loved being able to brighten people's days. And so then I realized I could go to school for it too. So I had such a wonderful relationship on the side note with my teachers in the floral department, or I should say VOTEC.
I had no idea that you could go to school for that.
Yeah, it's just like people go for cosmetology, or let's see, like vehicle work and all of the things. I chose floral design and horticulture. So it was such great experiences.
Side note, if you need flowers or you're having a party or an event, you can call Heidi. I had no idea.
I still do it.
That's amazing.
I love it. And then after that, I would say I jumped into a doctor's office that I worked for, a pediatric office called Schoolhouse Road Pediatrics, which I loved. That had such an impact on my life. The people that I got to work with, the doctors were amazing.
And how did you get there?
So actually, my ex-brother-in-law is a doctor there, and so he got me in.
So
I got it in.
Yes, always.
And so they're just all amazing, and I love it. I still bring my kids there. And Nick, although he's 22, he doesn't want to go to the pediatric office anymore, but
I totally remember doing that, like coming home from college and going to the pediatrician's office and being like, at some point I'll have to switch.
Yeah,
but,
it's time.
It's fine.
Yeah, but those were the things that were my stepping stones into where I am today. And even more, like one of the main things that I can remember that got me into real estate is one of the women there. Her name's Marilyn. She's the most beautiful soul on earth, honestly. She even taught me how to do my makeup.
Looks amazing. I got to learn from you on that too.
It started with, you do amazing stuff.
Flowers and makeup. You're
Flowers
coming over.
Yes. And fashion design. I actually want to go visit Marilyn and hit her closet because she's like the Sophia Loren of Delmar. Okay. And she's just beautiful. So she's the one that had talked to me about getting into real estate and encouraged me. Her sister was in real estate and was the original team that I had started on back in the day. Yeah.
That's very cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to hear about you, though. So tell me about your past careers, jobs, influences that got you where you are today.
All right. So the first job I ever had was probably training little kids to play soccer.
Yeah.
I was maybe 16, 17, similar age to you. And I just started training these little kids at their house or at a field. And I would just do 1 hour training sessions.
That's pretty amazing.
And the reason was like soccer was all I knew. That was like my whole life.
Really?
From 0 to, oh my gosh, like 20 something years old. And so all I wanted to ever do was either play for the national team, coach the national team, or, you know, just like that was it. So I coached them. I babysat a little bit. Did you do that too?
No.
Never.
Didn't
really.
wanna.
You know, I didn't really
get paid
like
$2, $3. I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna go play.
They're hard. The kids are tough. Still, kids are tough.
Yep.
You know. So shout out to all the babysitters. We love you as moms. We're so happy you love that job.
Yes, thank you for being there.
So then I was a camp counselor. After that, I got into, fast forward years and years and years ahead, after coaching a ton of camps, I then became a college soccer coach. I was a graduate assistant at Goucher College. I got my master's there after I played at Ohio State, played a little bit professionally, and then just started coaching college soccer.
Wow.
And eventually got the head job at Sage, which became a co-ed school back where we live in upstate New York. It was an all-girls school, but when I took the job, it had become men and women. And then from there, I got the Division I UAlbany job and was the head coach for UAlbany. And they had won 0 in like all of their history. And so the athletic director took, I guess, a gamble on me. I was only like 23, 24. So yeah, so we ended up winning back-to-back championships within 4 years. And my first year, we literally won 2 games because I had to start with nothing. And I think that's what people don't understand is like, you've got to take, in any line of work, you start here and you got to get here. But like, we don't know how to do it. You just got to action, like every day.
Movement.
Do something.
I didn't know all of that about you. That's so incredible. And I love soccer too, but not to the level that you know soccer. Oh my God, that's so impressive.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
What got you into real estate then?
Okay, so I was traveling. Great question. I was traveling every weekend, recruiting kids all over the country. I felt like I was the mom of 18 to 23-year-olds, and it was like within 30 players and 30 families. And I was like, I'm doing this for everyone else, but now I actually birthed my son in season. It was August, and I actually thought I had a failure because I got pregnant during the season. So I was like bawling, crying because I figured out my due date. And I was like, oh my gosh, how can I let all these other families down, right? You're supposed to be so happy about that. I was literally on the field like 5 days later. I was sitting on one of those blow up pillows because you can't even like sit after you have a baby. This is real talk, people. I was breastfeeding him like under the like bleachers to the point where I like got mastitis. For any of you moms that know what that is, you get like a fever. You can't like, your whole body like shuts down.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was insane. But I think like you just have to like do the best you can. And that was the season we ended up winning. But I think the women got to see it. So I think I was more open about like what was really going on in life. And I would be like breastfeeding on the bus and I'd have like a sweatshirt over me. So they just, I think, saw different sides, and that ultimately I think bonded like the whole group together more. But I was so worried it was going to be a negative. Mm-hmm. But really it became a positive.
I think so much has changed in such a short period of time, especially when we were younger and to today's society. And now it's empowering. It doesn't need to be where you can't go to work anymore because you're choosing to breastfeed your child versus bottle.
That's so true.
So what you're doing is you're showing the young ladies that it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's absolutely so inspiring and incredible that you did that.
So I got into real estate because the next season when we won the second one, I had my second son. And I was like, I can't fly around the country and never be home because who's raising my kids?
Right.
So it was crazy. I went another season and then I literally looked up any top producer. So in any industry that you're in, my biggest advice would be find a top producer in whatever industry and replicate whatever they did and actually go watch what they do.
Yeah.
And you had a baby when you were working, right? In these other jobs?
Yeah.
You had a baby young?
I had my first baby. I was 19.
Talk about tenacity.
I was a senior in high school and I left home. Yeah. Everything is such a blur right now. And even back then, I was in a relationship that wasn't a healthy one at all. I met him at Floral, Horticulture and Design. At Bowtech.
Love the Floral, not the guy. But we're happy.
I think back then I was, I was more of the jockey girl. I was more heavier than the pretty girls in school, even though I wasn't heavy at the time. I was 140 pounds. So I also played soccer in school.
Okay.
They called me the Berlin Wall, by the way.
Oh my God,
Nobody could get past me.
I love that. That's amazing.
And my brother was the Sherman Tank, I believe, in football. But anyway, that aside, I met somebody. I fell in love, I thought, with them. And, my poor parents, they're a perfect example of what I should have been looking for. But because I was the girl that really wasn't paid attention to in high school, when somebody actually paid attention to me in Floral, it was like, ooh, I had to cling to him. And I thought that was, normal. And so I didn't pay attention to signs that I should have. So anyway, fast forward to my senior year. I ended up leaving home and I got my own apartment.
Wow.
On
so
Broadway.
Amazing.
And then I finished high school. I had a full-time job at Golub in Perishable. And I finished high school pregnant.
I think that's so amazing. Like that you were able to do all that. And you took your situation and you turned it into, I'm going to thrive and I'm going to survive.
Yeah, I just had to. I knew I had to. My mom, she was so amazing. She'd come and check on me and try to get me to come home. And I was just so determined because all of a sudden I'm going to be a mom now that I was working to pay for my few bills and going to school to finish because I knew that I had to finish high school. There was just no way I was going to let being pregnant stop me from at least completing it. So I just did it. And so there was just, I guess that's where my story, I got goosebumps thinking about this, you guys. So it takes me back to, not letting anything hold me back and there's just you can't take no for an answer. It's just, what do I do to get to the next step in my life? And finishing high school was the first one, and becoming a mom as a teenager was my second.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Not that if you ever give your child up for adoption or you decide not to have the child, like that is your decision, and just remember that. But for me, I wasn't giving up on my son.
Well, I love that you say that it's each step. Mm-hmm. And I don't think either one of us could have ever dreamt that we'd be where we are right this moment. No. Right? Ever. But it's about one step forward, two steps back. I mean, that is a quote that happens, but that really is truth when you think about life. Because if you knew exactly what you were going to do, and some people do, right? There's certain trajectories, becoming a lawyer, becoming any sort of doctor, but even within those realms, there's always these things that push you forward and then push you back and then forward and back. And there's always someone that's better than you. And that's at least how I always look at it. Mm-hmm. But also, do I want to be where, say, this person is? Sometimes the answer is actually no. The older I've gotten, the answer for me has been, okay, I want to be successful here. But if I have to sacrifice this much, or there's certain things I'm willing to balance now and certain things I'm not willing to give up. Real estate is something that we both do, and we both do it at an extremely high level. Tell everyone what your role is right now.
Oh, okay. So I have so many roles.
I know.
It's like
good.
I'm like thinking about it yesterday on New Year's Day. It was yesterday. And I'm literally sitting there comfortably on the couch with the family and just like really kind of taking it in and reflecting. And you guys, I'm just like kind of blown away by the amount of roles I have right now. Mom, number one, I'm a wife. Yeah. And then, work status. I'm a branch manager for Howard Hanna, which is a newer position for me. Prior to that, I owned my own brokerage for almost 7 years. And it was just a time for me to make a change, and it just everything fell into place. So yes, I am that. I also still work with buyers and sellers, so I still have my clients that I work with. And then on top of it, I'm an American Dream TV host, as well as you, Dolly.
Yes.
So that's like, just a tip of the iceberg, because on top of it, we're a part of some podcasts.
Yeah. Been awesome.
Potentially more down the road. You never know where things may land.
You're very good at hosting, I think, like red carpet events and
so fun.
Fashion. Like we both really love like just being ourselves and embracing that, which I think when we were younger, maybe we didn't always.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's beautiful about the show that we're on? We get to be a part of things that we wouldn't necessarily be a part of, right? And so since I've been on the show, this spring will be 2 years for me. I have met so many amazing people that I wouldn't otherwise probably have met in this life, maybe down the road, who knows? But like things like I got to be a part of Farm Aid this past, it wasn't fall yet, I don't believe, but in September. And that was so...
It's like mind-blowing that you got to do that.
Incredibly a unique experience. Yeah. And so I got to meet so many amazing photographers and videographers because we were in the tent with them.
Yeah.
And then, being so close to the stage where you could literally touch
the amazing performers.
The performers, Dave Matthews. Can I just tell you guys too on another, let's pivot again. Dave Matthews. They come to SPAC every year, I think, right?
Yes.
4 shows each time they come, and I've never been to one. Maybe it's because I became a mom at such a young age and my job was to just be there for my kids and be like working, and I just never went anywhere. Yeah. Being able to get into like the pit area where the camera crew was, and the camera crews were already done. So everybody was gone except for 1 or 2 security people that were like kneeling down.
Yeah.
I asked security if I could go kneel down with them for a few minutes just to listen a little bit closer and just get that feel, because the people are behind us.
Absolutely.
So we're really like 2 feet from the main stage, and the big microphone and camera coming down for live viewing and whatnot. And so I'm sitting there and I'm getting emotional. And I'm like, what's happening?
That's very cool.
I was so emotional. The tears just start flowing down my face. I'm like, what am I feeling? And I'm like, oh my God, I finally get Dave. Yeah. I finally get him. He's up there and he's playing. He's got another gentleman next to him playing and singing, and he's just like the way. And I was just like, holy smokes.
Yeah, you're like taking over.
I get it.
Music just like runs through your whole body, right?
It was insane.
And you got to experience something that if you weren't a national TV host, you would have never been there.
Exactly.
And how amazing is that?
It's
that 2 years ago, you never even knew you'd be in the door around that environment. You would never be doing something like that. So like real estate really led you into that.
Exactly. Because here's the thing too. We wouldn't even be invited to be a host if we hadn't been real estate agents. So because the show, which is from California originally, started looking for hosts in our area, they were looking for real estate agents because we're the people with the most knowledge of where to go, where to buy, and all the things. They chose realtors to be hosts for the show. So without being in real estate, we never would have been a part of this, which is incredible. So tell me more about your experience with the American Dream.
So I've been a host now just coming up on about a 1-year anniversary. And when it was presented to me, it was just coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
And my partner and I, we were finishing a house project, which was a renovation. And I was like, how can I add this to my plate? But I knew immediately that it was like meant for me. I wanted to grow my brand. I've been growing and trying to grow my personal brand and real estate brand for the last few years. And I was like, this is I can't say no opportunity. And I looked at it as it's all about relationships. It's all about who you meet. But also I can reach so many more people on such a national level.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is you get to showcase these small businesses on a national scale. So they get the exposure they really deserve. And now with like online marketing and all these other things, we love where we live. And I think like in order to be a host, you have to love where you live. Otherwise, your authentic self and the way you show up doesn't come out in the episode. And I think if you go and watch all the other hosts, you'll see that. Like, they love where they live.
Yeah.
They're proud of who they're representing. And we also get to meet them.
Yep.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh, man. Wow. So you mentioned a minute ago about doing red carpet events and whatnot.
Yeah.
This is something that I didn't even realize was in me.
Okay, so when did you have your first red carpet here?
I actually had a red carpet event here at the Saratoga Living Magazine event, Overdressed to Impress. Such a fun episode, which did land on HGTV and the Travel Channel. So that was a beautiful surprise.
Amazing.
Showcasing the lovely Saratoga Springs and the magazine and the lovely ladies and gentlemen who were there that day, which was so neat because these people would have gone to that anyway, but we brought them something in addition.
Even higher.
Yeah. So it's just awesome. So I used the opportunity with an Overdressed to Impress episode theme to really go all out. And I bought an outfit that I never would wear otherwise. Hat, dress, boots, you name it. And it's very glammy and something that I can see online where Instagram haunts me. And it's like, wow, I really love this outfit. I have nowhere to wear it.
We're just going to create an event.
Yeah. So
you guys can all come. Maybe that's what we'll wear on the next podcast.
Okay. That would be fun. I actually thought about it. I saw my hat today in the closet. I was like, you sexy bitch. What a fun prop. But anyway, that led me to planning another episode in the near future, which actually already just took place, where I got to get another fun, crazy outfit where we did do a red carpet event as well.
Yeah.
But when we got invited to California to meet the people from American Dream and hosts from all over the U.S., it was such a dynamo experience. It was so fun to be amongst such amazing people, wonderful realtors, the creators of the show and the people behind the show who edit our episodes and everything. Like, what an inspiring thing to be a part of, which I did get to do another red carpet event.
It was so amazing. She looked so awesome. And what I think people don't realize is these agents that are from all over the country, they're from all different brokerages. And I think what's really cool is it's not a competition. It's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
And the biggest takeaway that I said to Heidi from that trip is we shared a room. We actually had two other hosts from upstate New York, Rebecca and Cody, with us, which was so fun.
It was a blast.
We really got to know each other on a more personal level. And I think that's what was so fun for me was it's just all about collaborating and not putting anybody down, or if you do it this way and I do it this way. It was like, oh, wow, okay, I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll add that to my repertoire. And it was like these little nuggets from like every person. And if you're open to learning, you can like learn so much. And I think we learned so much on that trip.
We learned so much, but then the people that we also got to spend time with were just so grateful because they pulled from us as well. And that's also just an inspiring moment to be able to help somebody else, even by just saying one little thing or helping them. It's awesome.
So I would say for me for 2025, and I want to know what yours is, mine would be, and I just kind of figured this out yesterday, but I keep going back to what is 2025, and it's I want to inspire people. And I feel like there's even more we have to talk about and to say in how we got here. So I think for me, it's going to be about inspiring other people to like live up to like their worth or to really excel in whatever they're doing. So the number one thing is just start.
Just start, but to not look back. Maybe glance. Correct.
Maybe to glance.
Like there's just, I think that I'm always kind of like, no, I'm not going back to where that was. I want to improve. I want to do better. So if you can inspire other people to, whether it's in real estate or whatever it is that they're going after, to just go for it. I remember being the girl at the doctor's office, and I appreciate and loved the opportunity to work there. But I remember looking at the nurses and being like, maybe I should go to school to be a nurse. And at the time, I was just like, how the heck would I do that? I need this job in order to pay for my few bills that I was able to cover with it.
Yeah.
And to go to school on top of it, I didn't have the money to do that. I didn't have the time to do that because I already had a child, and then Gabby came in the mix as well. So it only got harder. But I figured out eventually something that might work for me, and that's because somebody planted a seed. You know, and then I remember talking to my ex-husband, and at the time, you know, asking his advice on it. And if he thought that, he did encourage me to go. And so I just tried. I did it. And I got into real estate in 2009.
Nice.
And for the first 6 months, I actually did really well. I was with Realty USA at the time, which is now Howard Hanna. And I started on a team, which happens to be Marilyn, the person who I was mentioning. It was her sister's team. And I did really good. I did 6 deals in 6 months. But while I was waiting for those to close, it was very stressful for me that I'm not going to get into financially with my ex at the time, because I was constantly going through a battle of struggle. And like I said, I don't want to get into the details about it, but I had to kind of hang up my hat on real estate after those 6 months, because I had to go back to the doctor's office because I wasn't doing making enough, I should say.
Yeah.
Yet had I stuck with it, it probably would have been fine, but I wouldn't.
But that's okay.
Potentially be where I am today. Yeah. So I went back to the doctor's office for a period of time. And then I had an opportunity to work for another company where the flow was a little bit better of real estate flow.
Good.
And so I was able to leave the doctor's office once more and finally. And that's when real estate really, really, really took off for me, because I had found the right people at the time to help get me to where the next step was for me, which was opening my own brokerage later on. So...
Well, and I think what people don't realize is it's okay to have those side jobs when you're trying to figure out your next step.
Yeah.
And when I got into real estate, I went from being the breadwinner, and my ex at the time, my ex-husband, was in college, like doing his master's degree for his career. So I was the main person working, and I completely flipped that 365, 180, whatever you want to call it, from going from every day at the office to... I'm home now 100% because I'm going to take my 2-week vacation, get my real estate license. And that was literally, I didn't even know how to put in for vacation time, any of it.
Wow.
And I literally went into the office. I was like, okay, how do I even do a vacation day? I'm going to retire, but I just need the 2 weeks. And then you guys pay me in January. The girls will be on break. It'll be a nice clean break. You can find the coach that you need.
Wow.
What have you. And literally, I went from every day to 2.5 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was working for I started at Coldwell Banker in Saratoga. That was where I started, because that was where my mentor, who was a top producer, she had actually just sold my brother's house. So I felt just a little bit more connection with her.
Of course.
And I was showing up at her house at 8 o'clock, dropping off my son to his 2.5 hour daycare. And just in 2.5 hours, whatever I could learn, I did. And then I started actually getting a sitter for 1 or 2 extra hours as time went on. And I became the assistant to the manager in my office. And I was just like, what do you need me to do for your business? Like how you are a manager.
Yep.
I'm going to expedite your business, and I can set up systems. I can set up all this stuff.
Wow.
And let's, in the office, I set up a text and an app that used to work for the whole office.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because that's how I would communicate with 30 players who are 18 to 23 to get them all in different spots and do stuff. So I took whatever I had from coaching and I just brought it over to real estate, and I just tried to make her business as good as it could be. And then when I would put the kids to bed, I'd be like, okay, now I have 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
What can I do to grow my business? How do I do the same thing she's doing? And I can't do it on the time that I'm working for her.
Right.
But okay, I need to do, and I wouldn't do all of it, but I would do some of it.
Yeah.
Whatever I could. And it's literally just grown every year.
So I would say, just by hearing you say all that, and you went to college and you have so much more knowledge than I do. I'm seriously jealous that you got to go away to college and do all the things, because I feel like I personally missed so much that would have actually boosted me more than I am today. As far as like, you could do this, you could do that, and setting up systems where I'm like spinning. I'm that person that's like spinning constantly.
You have so much life experience in different ways that I think you don't want to shortchange that.
No, and I know that. But like, when I look at those types of things that you have, like, this is where we were like such a good match, because you have so much that like I just don't have. And then maybe I have some different life experiences that you might not have. And that's just cool. I love hearing stuff like this.
I would say you getting up at like 3 a.m. for like your baby was like me getting up for like 3, 4 a.m. runs. Mm-hmm. We were doing the same thing, just in a different way.
True.
But we were running ourselves ragged.
Yeah.
I was on scholarship at Ohio State playing, and like it's the same commitment. So the way you committed to your kids and like that at such a young age was exactly what I was doing with the game.
Yeah.
But when you like get older, you're like, what's really important?
Right.
And so I think for our viewers, it's if you have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like how do you set your priorities?
Yeah.
Because like if you can't figure out, if you don't have $5 to go get milk or cereal or whatever, like the other stuff doesn't even matter, because like you have to take care of you first. And sometimes the kids come first, of course, which like we have to realize we have to take care of us before we take care of them.
Yep.
But like, that was probably something I've always been really good at, is if I have 3 minutes, I will literally like get the most out of that 3 minutes. I'm so effective with my time.
That's way more than me, girl. I am not doing that.
All right,
For 3 minutes, I'm scrolling, unfortunately. Like wasting time. I am that person.
When you're in that mode, though, you're like that too?
Yeah.
Procrastination?
Oh, my God. It's awful.
Okay, but what's your like superpower then? Because I can like time effective and be efficient when needed. What about like when you have to be?
Oh, I'm usually just crazy bitch. Don't look at me. Don't touch me. My poor husband. He walks in. I'm like, go. No, I don't have a superpower.
You definitely have a superpower. Let's figure out what Heidi's superpower is.
I just, no matter what, I can still get it done. So I might. Okay. So my husband and I will wake up in the morning. Today's goal was to get up and be out of the house at a very early time, which did not happen. I was up all night because of the wind. Okay. No. The wind was so bad last night. It literally kept me up all night and I couldn't sleep. So this morning I just needed a little bit more time. So my plan had already been on January 2. I'm like already messing up. I'm like, no. But anyway, I'm like, okay, so this is the way it's supposed to be. For whatever reason, God's keeping me in the house for now.
Right.
And so I just, we do our normal like coffee routine where we have coffee in bed and we just kind of like wake up and talk about the day and our goals and plans and whatnot.
Yeah.
Get Wolfie up and things like that. So all of a sudden I'm like, crap, I'm running behind because we spend so much extra time talking about, I don't know, it's usually our like quiet time, our time. In the morning. So then all of a sudden I'm like running ragged, crazy, trying to do my makeup, trying to do my hair and, I got to shave today.
Oh my gosh, right?
So I'm like, okay. But all of a sudden, no matter what, things get done. If you're running a few minutes late, I don't recommend it. But of course, that is me legitimately always running a couple minutes late. But working on that, like all I can do is just try.
Yeah,
harder and harder. But I always look back and be like, all right, well, you know what? Our like most special quality time, and I mean my husband, is in the morning. So I just, you can't.
That's good.
I don't want to change it.
Yeah, no. And I think if that's a priority for you, then that's like amazing. And you guys should have that time together.
Yeah.
Almost like carve out more time for that.
Yeah. It's hard in the evening for us.
Yeah, because you got the kids, you're running this way, you're running that way. Do you have a showing? Do you not? Like, It's insane.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I would say for my routine, okay, I love like washing my face in the morning because so as soon as I wake up, go to the bathroom, right? And then I brush my teeth immediately, which is so funny. And then like I'll usually have a cup of coffee before I go into like full like washing my face. But there's something about in the last few years I've gotten more into like skincare, and that has also come with a little bit extra money here and there. So I never used to be able to get facials the way, and even in the last few months I haven't. But she's like put me on like wash your face with cleanser, then toner, and like moisturizer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like. But that routine has, at first I was like so overwhelmed, kind of like working, right? And any new job, you're like, wait, what do I have to do? Break it down in steps.
Yep.
So once I've started doing that, I do feel better when I'm doing that routine in the morning. And then usually it's the boys are out at breakfast. Chevy's amazing. That's my partner. He's always the one doing like most of the house stuff.
Yeah.
Truthfully, the cook in the kitchen. I'm always like, I'll eat whatever you make. Thank you.
Same with my husband, Jay.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Thank God, because if I get home, he's already got dinner. Like,
it's
planned. It's cooking.
Thank God.
He's slicing the chicken, and it's so good.
All right.
Thank you, honey. Thank you
to both honeys.
Yes, we couldn't do it without
a cooking date, and we'll do the flowers, and they can do the cooking.
Yep. Perfect.
But, and I was going to say, surround yourself. I'm tangenting. But earlier you talked about surrounding yourself with like good people. And I think what I realized, and maybe just hearing some of the stuff with your ex and different things that have happened to you, is you can either still make yourself around people that are like bad, good, or like negative, I'll say. Like you have an idea. And I've noticed that I'll have an idea about something and I'll like maybe present it in different groups, right? As I've grown up.
Yeah.
And you have certain people that will go, oh my gosh, you're going to do what?
Yep.
That's so unsafe.
Yep.
For example, when I left coaching, literally I was told, well, what kind of career are you going to have? That's not a career. Real estate is not a career. I remember it like, oh my gosh, like in my whole being. And I was like, well, I'm going to make it a career and I'm going to make it good. And like, if I know that I'm going to put everything toward it, if I'm still not successful, then like, okay, I gave it all I can. But like to just say like, that's not a career because it's a 1099 and you're in charge of it. Most entrepreneurs aren't really afraid of that. But the people who have only had W-2 jobs, right, where they get that paycheck, and that's all they know. And it was, from people that didn't understand and had never been an entrepreneur, they were like, oh, that's so unsafe.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different personality types, though.
Yeah,
and then that just means that type of career is scary for them to even fathom because they wouldn't be able to handle that.
And that's totally fine for you if that's you. But I would just urge people to think about what they're saying to other people because they are different from you and that's okay. It's just like friends.
Yep.
Right? Like I keep my circle pretty small. How about you in the business world now? And
my circle is tiny.
So small.
It's actually very, very small.
It's like literally we go home. I feel like I just spend time with like my group.
Uh-huh.
Like my partner.
The same.
Our kids. Like that's it.
Parents.
And like
brother, sister.
My favorite is when like Heidi and I get together randomly during the day or
that is gold right there.
But really
get to be with the people that like for example, we're talking personal level, right? We have our work where we get to be around a lot of agents and we get to collaborate with them and work with them, especially in my position. My door is constantly revolving and people are walking in and we're working on things together. And I love them all very much.
Yes.
They're so sweet. I've got a ton of messages over the holidays from them and they're my people.
Yeah.
My circle is a little different, right? And so keeping your circle as close as possible and not even really needing to talk. So I am side note, I'm the type of person that doesn't even tell like my family my personal business or anything that's going on because I don't owe an explanation to anyone. If I talk to Jay about it, my kid, and so
I resonate with that.
Those are the ones that because they're in it, they're with me
day to day,
and they are the ones that are going to either feel something if I'm leaving to go on our trip for American Dream or whatnot. And so those are the ones that need to know most of what's going on, and that's my I keep things private. And so just like my beautiful mom, like if she's calling to reschedule an appointment or whatnot, I'm like, Ma, they don't need an explanation. Like you don't owe anybody an explanation, first of all. And the person on the other line doesn't need to know either. Right. They really don't care.
Right.
So save your breath.
Yeah. No, it's true.
So on and so forth. And everything will be fine. And you're going to feel so empowered by not having to feel like you owe somebody an explanation. Yes. You don't. And so when it comes to trying something different in a career, or
you don't need to tell everybody.
You don't need to tell everybody, and you don't need their opinion. Just like actually this happened in real estate. One of my beautiful agents that works when we were in contact constantly, this woman is selling her home and buying a home, and then she'll be selling her home.
Love those.
A ton of people are involved in the decision making for this woman and decided to back out. And it was something that could have been saved. It was something in the inspection, and just because of the other people talking to her about it and giving their opinion, she decided to cancel, and then she regretted it after. So,
opinions versus facts will hold you back so much if you listen to other people's opinions. So much.
Yeah. Because it's your own head.
Yes. And believe in what you want. If you want to try something, try it. If the app is $5 to try something out that you think could exponentially make your business better, faster, stronger, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're on social media or you're trying to be somebody who goes viral, just keep posting the videos. Who the hell cares? You know? Don't worry about what some people might think. Do it. Just do it.
And if you're worried about whomever those people are, literally unfollow them. And if you don't feel confident enough in that, don't have them in your life. Whoever you're surrounding yourself with is who and how you're going to show up. So the more you're showing up with people that are less than, or constantly the naysayers or the don't do that, or that's unsafe, or this or that, see you later. This is how I'm going to do it, and I'm going to at least try. Because if you don't even try, then you have no idea how you're even going to end up, because you never even tried.
Right.
So, okay, so a couple things. So I remember, like I said, my first year at UAlbany, we won 2 games. And I was like, well, they can either fire me. We won the first game of the season and the last game of the season. It's my first year as a Division I head coach. And I'm like, I knew that we had to strip everything down to 0. Because when you come into a brokerage, right, you're the manager, nobody's going to trust you right away.
Yep.
Nobody, right?
Yep.
The agents want to know, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. But, they're not going to listen to you right away. So you get hired. You have a season. Same as you. Now you're 6 months in, so I'm sure you got trust and respect and all that now.
Yep, it's growing. It was just side note. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought maybe they would just trust me out of the gates, and nobody said that they didn't trust me. But
you feel
from there till today, I definitely feel the growth in the relationships and that manager realtor status.
Yeah.
I definitely feel sorry, go ahead.
No, that's of course. They need to know that do you have my back for real? Are you they're all trying to figure it out, no matter, I think, any industry. So the reason I'm saying that is because fast forward to the following year, I'm okay, either, and I only had a year contract. I asked for 5, but they would only give me a year because it was a state university. So it had to be a year-to-year contract, which let's not even talk about the inequity with men's sports and how they get 5 to 10 year contracts or what have you. And it's a rolling scale, even if they perform or not. But I still love men's sports and all that. But that was a little bit of an interesting thing.
Really?
And then we ended up, the following year, we go to the semifinal of the conference championship. So had a full year to recruit, go get the players I want. And I built the spine, right, of the program, kind of like you're doing. The middle, whatever the middle is, has to be the strongest. And then you kind of keep building outward from there. So I think in any business you have, make sure the spine is strong, just like our core. And then you can keep learning and expanding like an octopus with your tentacles. And that's how you can grow. So now, right, you're a TV host, you're a branch manager, you're a mom, you're a partner, like you're doing all these tentacles, but the first thing you ever did was just like learn and just put yourself in the shoes of like, if you ran a brokerage, like how do you do that? The only reason you know how to now manage is because you've done all those things.
Right.
But can you imagine if like you wouldn't have been ready for this role had you not had all that other experience?
100%.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool how it all like leads to the finish line.
And I never would have ever expected it.
Yeah.
Just thinking, like soaking in what you're saying and just kind of going back into talking about floral design and school and becoming a young mom and getting into real estate.
Yeah.
And I know I mentioned it in the last episode, but lifer, like I never thought that this is where I would be today.
Oh my gosh. Same.
The fact that it's just today, I have no idea what tomorrow looks like or next year or 10 years from now. So it's just really exciting to think that if I've had enough courage this whole time to get where I was to today, the future is just...
It's bright. It's exciting.
So exciting because it could just be anything. So Caitlin, tell me, has anything stick out in your mind that has happened to you this past year that you want to share?
Okay. So this past year I became a builder and a general contractor.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Didn't have any plans for that.
Wasn't even in the scope?
Wasn't in the scope. We were restoring the oldest house in Saratoga, and we had a horrible contractor who like stole from us. We went through the bank. We did it right. And we're in real estate. We know how you go through the bank, who to go to, what to do, blah, blah, blah. Pre-approved, right? All these things. And I had no idea how to be a general contractor. But all I knew was I met this amazing guy at Curtis Lumber who became my like right hand for ordering all things.
Oh.
I ended up meeting really good craftsmen, but I had no idea how to build a house. Fast forward, we built a house, a garage. We renovated the oldest house. We ended up winning all these awards.
Oh my God.
Can't even believe, like, I was just thinking about it yesterday. Like, I can't even believe. So Stephen James is the name of my building company, and that's my kids' middle names. And literally, like, talk about not knowing how the year's going to go. It ended up being like my best year in real estate, which I've mentioned. I think I'm finishing around like just shy or around like 17 million, which is like insane. But like all of that hard work went like literally in and then back out. So it's like, okay, we're in January.
Yep.
Let's start it all over again.
At zero. Well, probably not. You got a ton pending. You're good.
But I do feel like for 2025, like what is 2025? I feel like you and I doing this is like definitely something that could happen. But we also spoke about you possibly and me both loving filming, not just with the show, but like maybe we want to do an actual show.
Wait, what?
Or a movie or acting.
How do we get into that?
Right?
This was a conversation
we did talk about
plane.
this. Yes. So like, wouldn't that be, maybe we should go and make one of our goals to go to like an acting audition for 2025.
Okay.
Like at just some point.
Yes. I tried to. We had a Hallmark movie being filmed in Schenectady and Albany this past a couple months ago.
Oh my God.
And I tried so hard to get noticed.
Oh my gosh, you're not even going to believe this.
What?
Hallmark called us.
What?
Listen,
wait.
They were in Schenectady, the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
She ends up finding our apartment on Airbnb and says, I want to come shoot the movie for the February movie at our house.
Yeah.
12 hours later, there's like 10 people in my main house because I said,
God.
this is just my apartment. Why don't you shoot at our house?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they ended up choosing a brownstone in Chicago and flew the whole cast for the 4 days there. So we just finished the showcase. We got this call. 12 directors show up to my house. Chevy's away. So I'm like, oh my God, I just invited all these strangers to my house. Talk about just taking a chance.
Come on in. Oh my God.
And we literally were supposed to possibly the next week, like 3-4 days later, we would have been shooting a Hallmark movie. Had Hallmark not picked a brownstone in Chicago, the whole crew thought that they were going to be filming at our house.
Oh my God.
So if anybody wants to, film some movies in Saratoga Springs at an award-winning showcase home.
There you go.
Shoot us a call.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing if you would have been an extra.
God. I would have been like, hey, why are you filming?
I would have been like, you're at my house. This is
put
amazing.
A good word in for me, please. I have like some goals to be like an extra.
Let's do it.
Like no line. I don't even need like my whole face or body in it. Just like a nose or something, a dimple. I would love to dabble with having some parts. But
I think you're going to be way more than just an extra.
I want to be an extra. Let's just
I want to be
small.
like super. I want to like be like, I want to like win an award for like some movie.
My God. And then today I want to thank you all. But so talk about having
my goals are so ridiculous.
No, they're not ridiculous. But talk about dreaming.
But why not?
So like being a part of the show made me realize that I do like being on camera. I don't mind it at all. I want to bring on people that deserve to be seen and for our community to know it's even there in case they don't. But that made me realize that I have a love for fashion, like even doing something with Fashion Week or Cucchiella in California.
Coachella, yes. Cucchiella,
co-hosting,
Heidi, Kate,
California. Yes. A goal of meeting Lady Gaga would be just a dream come true.
Oh my gosh, you're the best Lady Gaga fan impersonator. I mean, I don't know how your pipes are. Hers are ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But,
I wish I could sing. I cannot. But I guess to like wrap up the thought about this is just. You could see how silly we are talking about being on TV or a show other than our own. Yeah. But, having our own show someday or being a side in a movie, there's just so many opportunities. And I guess putting it out in the universe now, it is something. Why not? Why not let everybody know that it is something that I would love? And if any negative comments come through, I'm not listening, so
we don't like your opinions. We're looking at
encourage, because we are here to encourage you.
Yes.
And if you ever need a side cheerleader or somebody to help encourage what you're looking to do, you got us right here. We would do that for you.
So, like main takeaways, I would say would be support people, definitely collaborate, not compete.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to be competing, no matter what.
It's healthy competition in real estate, for example.
Yeah, the
17 million. I didn't do that.
I've never done that before, by the way. And my goal was 30 guys because of the fact that we had a horrible situation and I had to become a builder. I had to pay for materials that were stolen. Like, it was crazy. We also had like the city that was giving us a hard time with like getting the permits, getting things like to the starting point. And so like you just don't know what you're up against, but you just figure it out as you go or find somebody that maybe has had a similar situation and just pick their brain on what worked, what didn't work, and then maybe try something different or use some of their template and some of your own.
Yep.
But yeah, compete healthily. Healthily compete.
Healthy competition is always good.
Yes.
As long as you stay honorable.
Yes. That's so true.
And still cheer on the other person. Had we gone on an interview for a listing, for example, and they chose Caitlin over me, like all I'm going to do is send her a card and be like, you bitch, I love you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But that's like, we're going to cheer each other on.
Yeah.
And it's like that a lot in real estate, but there's also ones that is not. And then we talk about people in your life who hopefully will be supporting you in anything that you're doing or goals that you have in your life. There's actually like another thing that I was thinking that I would love to do, but obviously I would need somebody to help me with it. I feel like I could write a book.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a children's book or a life book or what the book is.
So this is amazing. I want to write a book too.
Really?
So the things I really want to do is I want to be in like an amazing either movie or show. I don't know which one, but I kind of would love to do Love and Business with Kate and Chevy or Real Talk with Kate and Chevy.
Oh.
Or I'll just be in a movie, like either way. We could do our own or separate. I know, it's crazy.
I'm going to start shopping for like what do you get when you're in a movie? Grammys? Or what do you
Oh,
got?
yeah.
I'm going to start shopping for what I'm going to wear to our grand. Oh,
we can get an Emmy, though, for the American Dream. We can do that.
Yes.
We need to get that. All right. We have lots to accomplish, but not all in 2025. See, these are just dreams, guys.
Yep.
It's all about masterminding and thinking and creating and like manifesting it. I literally manifest all the time.
Yeah. Me too.
Just like my alarm that went off at 11:11 and I say happier, healthier, richer, like that is a key thing that we do every single day.
Yep.
Okay, so you want to write a book. I also want to write a book. I was tabling that because I think like
that's down the road. Maybe.
It might be, but like who knows? Maybe it'll speed up. Right now, it's not the number one priority. I'd rather do podcasts or show or.
That's the type of leveling up that we're
personally
working on.
Yeah.
On top of real estate, because real estate
is just one avenue.
Is one avenue and one piece of the puzzle for life in our lives.
Yeah. So like for us right now, I would say the things that are actually have happened are we have rentals that produce and bring us money. But the first step in the rental game was just buying the first one, right? Saving up, being disciplined enough to know that that was the priority to then get to that point. So we have our rentals and we have real estate. Those are our two biggest like money-making activities for you, real estate and manager.
Yep.
Okay. And then I would say we have the show, and that's building relationships, broadcasting small businesses on a national level.
Yep.
And now you want to do a book. We want to do maybe an audition.
Yeah, I want to.
Like, let's figure it out.
Can I become... So I'm not model status.
Oh, my God.
As
yes,
far
you are.
as the outfits that some of these...
Are you guys looking at her eyes? If I could, like, zoom in on her eyes right now and that whole look and vibe, we would.
Certain outfits I wouldn't be able to get away with. I cannot be a bikini girl walking down the aisle there because of my skin.
Okay.
My skin is loose.
She's beautiful. Don't even let her trick you.
But if I'm completely covered, it can happen. And I can work on my walk on, in New York City. Can you imagine like all the people you can meet and all that good stuff?
I think like you don't have to be a runway model.
I mean, I want
to be an actress, right? Like actresses are all shapes and sizes.
Wait, Kate.
If you were like, I want to be a runway model, I'd be like, okay, well, there's certain steps we have to take.
You're gonna be
I don't even know how to start.
She's gonna put me on the field running soccer balls and kicking and all that. That's okay. I'll take it. No, but one of the shows I did a runway. I was wearing wedding dresses. That was such a fun episode.
See, she already was a runway model.
I did, and it actually gave me a taste of what it was like, and I loved it.
You would be so amazing.
So fun.
See,
I don't know.
See, random things happen in 2024 leading into 2025.
Yeah.
I actually walked a random consignment fashion store.
Yes.
Like just some of their dresses that they were doing. And I was like, great, this is fun.
Yep.
But had I not shot her friend's store to be on American Dream TV, that would have never happened. She would have never asked me.
Right.
And no, I didn't get paid to do it. I did it because it was another relationship that I could lean into. But I will say I would like to start getting paid for some ancillary activities. But I also really feel like the genuine connection sometimes, the first one is important to get yourself like in the door.
Yep.
Right?
No, it's all about relationships in life.
And sometimes you have to pay for like PR, wouldn't you say? And getting yourself out there. And it's not year one that you're able to do all that usually.
It's not your what?
Not year one.
Oh, year one. It's not
like where you're like paying for PR or things. You do have to get a following or start to create who you are before I think those things start to happen.
Yeah.
Just like the octopus tentacles. Like figure out what's your spine. Like
I love that. I've never heard it called that. It's something that
because for us it was like the center back, right? Well, you have your goalkeeper. Then you have your center back, your center midi, your center forward. Like those all have to be strong.
Yeah.
And then like everybody else has to work together. But if that's not strong, like it's just like your core and your body.
I love these terms.
I love it.
I love picking up words. I haven't. What do you call it? Like analogies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your spine and then your tentacle. Like,
right?
I can use that in life.
Definite. Feel free. Use it wherever it suits you.
Well, baby, so I think that just about wraps up our show today, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Cheers to 2025.
Yes, seriously, Happy New Year. Cheers. I hope it's a sincerely prosperous and healthy and wonderful year, and just go after it.
And if you're looking to have a business or you have an amazing, inspiring story, reach out to Heidi Rotter or Caitlin Cuchiella, and we are so excited to hear what you have to say. And if you just need some encouragement.
Yeah, because we got you.
We got you.
We got you back.
Bye, guys.
Bye.